Right guys, so the plan of this is today is to take the steering rack out and try to get the subframe off on the front, so I can take them in and get them powder coated and shot blasted, whatever. So I think having a little look to do the steering rack, I could be wrong but I'm going to do it anyway, is just got to undo that bolt there, and this assembly here should disconnect, and then the steering rack should be free on the front for me to undo everything, obviously disconnect everything, connects to it, the pipes, etc. And then yeah, hopefully we can lower the steering rack, and then that just leaves the subframe to drop. So yeah, that's what we're going to try and do today, as well as looking at my friend's Corsa. It's just his first car, so a few little issues still with that, so I'll go a quick look at that as well. But yeah, on for the video. Right, so I've undone the back bolt and the top bolt to begin with, and then I've just slid this mechanism up to the top here. So obviously if you're going to pull the steering rack out, ideally you want this to come out and not that to smash and everything on the way down. So I lifted that up, luckily it was quite loose, it was quite a nice fit actually. So I just slid it right up, then I tightened that bolt back up. The bottom one still has nothing in it, the bolt's here. So yeah, so once I lower that steering rack, hopefully that should come out easy. Looks as though it will. And it's actually quite clean under here, to be fair. But yeah, so we'll go and start undoing some other stuff from the other side. Hopefully get some of them pipes off the rack, power steering, pump, fluid, etc. Then yeah, hopefully we should be good to drop it. Right, so as I was showing you on the inside, that is now loose and that can come off easy. Ended up just cutting them pipes just because they'll be replaced anyway with new, which is what I'll do. Just took the anti-roll bar off, which was an absolute nightmare to do it properly by undoing these bits, so I just left them. In the end I just ended up smashing the pins with a little chisely bit because that was much more convenient and time efficient, which is what I wish I did to begin with. It ended up taking ages otherwise. So I'll quickly go in the engine bay and I'll show you what I then did. So the next thing I did was I took the fuel filter and whatnot off. I ended up just cutting that pipe because it's not needed. No, this one, sorry. It's easy to replace, it's just straight. But chances are I probably won't need it there anyway. This just pulled off, that's easy enough. And then so yeah, once that was off, it was easier for me to cut them. And then basically all I've been doing since then is obviously take the anti-roll bar off underneath. Took a wishbone off, which is just this bolt here. And you get the bush and everything, which is solid inside. Put that off, which has just come off of there. There is a bracket, which as you can see went there. There was 3 more bolts which held that in, and that just enabled this to lower down. You might have got away without taking the roll bar off to get this off, but it's just easier and it's got to come off anyway, so I just took that off. So yeah, just gonna cut the brake pipes because they're getting braided, and then take the top mount bolts off and just lower the whole side down. And then I've just got to repeat the same process on this side. Yeah, and then that should just lower down, and hopefully there isn't too much holding the steering rack on, which is actually, if I zoom out, which is actually here, but that's underneath the subframe, which makes things a bit awkward. But once that's done, that should just drop out. Then it's a case of doing, I don't think there's many bolts left in the actual subframe. I think there's a couple back there and back there. They might be with that bracket holding on the wishbone, so that might already be out. And in which case I'm going to leave these two till last, because it'll be the easiest and the safest way to do it while I'm in here. And then yeah, hopefully that should be lowered, and then just leave all this to strip out. So hopefully be able to get that done fairly soon. It's getting a bit cold and a bit later now, but it shouldn't take too long. So we're going to go ahead and crack on and do that. So I've just sprayed some of this stuff on there, which make this a bit looser and easier to get to, so it don't look like they've been taken off. This stuff is actually really good, and it's one of the only ones that I have noticed to work. WD-40 normally is alright. This fast release penetrant is actually really good for corroded parts. That's what helped me get a lot of this apart, so I'd go and use some of that if you've got some really stuck bits. As opposed to normal WD, it's not much more expensive, but it's definitely worth it. So just going to undo these now and lower that down. We've got a hooded man over here holding everything, waiting for it to fall. And then, right, so that's actually surprisingly easy to lower. Just the whole suspension thing, nice ghetto cut springs, grinder cut. I heard they're really good. Nice. So that's off. Wishbone's off. I haven't got to worry about keeping them. I've got going to get some hard race ones. Hubs, I'm not 100% sure about yet, but I might be able to get a whole set of them with brakes that are a little bit cleaner in here. But if not, I'll probably take them, shop blast them, powder coat them. Obviously I don't need these. Though again, I might need to try and salvage these unless I can go to Honda and buy some new ones, which would be ideal, because they're a bit crusty, and I mean, although they'll be alright to save, it'd probably just be easier and safer just to get some new ones, to be honest. Yeah, I've got an EK9 anti-roll bar, which is somewhere, it's all the way down there, I'll show you that later. So yes, making good progress. After we get this subframe down, I could do a bit of a video on stripping that down, because I haven't got around to doing that yet, so I can't fit that whole thing straight in there, so I'll have to break it down. I will continue now, and I'll show you the rest in a minute. So yeah, underneath onto the passenger side, this is a bracket I'm on about. Got one bolt there, two there holding it on. So once I unbound them two, that one. It's only this one, because that one I assume is just holding the subframe on, along with the one down here. So once you got them off, that bracket will come off. You can either slide or push out, or just leave it in. I left it in on the. I left it in the last one. And then, yeah, once you've done that, it's just a case of undoing this one. Then you knock this down, and the bottom should just fold out pretty much from the other side. So we'll go ahead and do that. Right, so now we have both sides off. Again, quality cut springs, probably not even equal to the other ones. Again, wishbones, don't need them. Hubs, maybe. I'm not entirely sure yet, but now all them bits are off. Makes life a lot easier. And when it comes to tidying up, we're getting there. Just got to take mounts off at a later date, or with this, it just needs to come off, to be honest. But they're normally a lot more awkward than the main things, because the main things are normally kept pretty tidy. Like the bolts don't come in and out very often. There's things like that, I imagine they're going to be horrible, disgusting to take off. A lot of it will have to be cut, I imagine, but I'm planning on running the lines inside the car anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. But right now, I think there's a few bolts holding the steering rack left, and that is it underneath, which I'll show you in a bit. And then yeah, we've just got four main bolts left, and a few things to unbolt off the top of that subframe, and then that literally can come off, and then that'll be done for this episode. I didn't record it because it was a little bit awkward being in the garage, but all we did is undo the back two main bolts like I showed previously first. I loosened all four off first, even took back two out, and then loosened the other two last. What I did is we only had two axle stands, not them two orange ones, so what I did is I put one at the back corner, one at the far corner there, and then one at the close corner here. Then we undone it, it just sat there pretty nicely actually, and it isn't actually half as heavy as I thought. But it come out with the steering rack, which I've now got to disassemble a little bit so I can get that off. I can take this to shop blast. So I'll go ahead, do that now. I mean, I might even just save a little bit of time. Obviously that one is not too hard to pull off, but I'll probably just cut that 'cause it's a little bit corroded, so it looks like it need replacing anyway. Can always reuse that or get another one of them. Still power steering. And yeah. So I finally got the power steering and rack out of there. It was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. But I'm literally just up to taking the back engine mount off the subframe, and then I'm just gonna take it to go be shop blasted and powder coated. But I just thought obviously I better take this off here. The power steering pipe come off this side, and the power steering pipe leading up to the actual reservoir thing comes off this side. The other way around. Yeah, it is the other way around. But yeah, once this is off, I'll obviously get this painted up. Hopefully have coilovers. I'll have my hard race top, arms, bottom arms. I think in the next video I'll most likely be taking the rest off of the firewall. So then that's literally ready to sort of rub back and paint. And then once that's painted and rust treated, etc., I'll start popping things back. I'm not too sure what coilovers I'm going to go for yet. I think maybe just some teens for now, and I'll see how they are, because I don't want nothing too track aggressive, because it'll handle like a sack of turd on the road basically, which is where it spends a lot of its time, I should imagine. But yeah, I've been pretty busy today with help of Nath, who's asleep or whatever in there. Just took off both whole setups, the wheels there, roll bars off, and pipes are disconnected. Steering rack's off, it's a bit crusty and crappy, so I'm probably going to see if I can get refurbished one of them. And we come in here, we've got the little brace bracket, just basically covers up power steering, steering rack, sorry. Otherwise it's not all too important. And then you've got the bracket which holds up the wishbones. So yeah, I made good progress today. As I say, next just got to take all of that off, because I'm going to be changing to a 1-inch servo and master cylinder setup. Them pipes are not going to be needed because I'm going to run them inside the car all braided. Yeah, all the mount brackets I'm going to tidy up and etc, get all them out, take all this out of the way, I'll just get everything out of the way ready to sort of rub back, paint, wax, oil, treat, etc like that. And then yeah, hopefully once I've done that I'll make a start on the engine, but I'll probably do that in a separate whole video because I imagine it's going to take a little while. And I'll probably get like a tripod or something to mount it up while I do it, it'll be a lot easier. Maybe get the GoPro on there or something like that. But yeah, I'm happy with how we got on today. Made decent progress, considering a lot of stuff stuck, you know, and once you've done it once you know what you're doing, it should be a lot easier. I've labelled all the bolts up so I know where they come from, etc. So yeah, I think to be honest now we're just going to pack everything away, take off what we need, which I am going to do for now. Yeah, no, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like, comment, anything you'd like to see down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit a bell for notifications when I upload. Bye for now.